Nanda. Thank you, Thomas. Today, here I to do the anatomy and physiology connected to the Kayakalpa. So be blessed by the divine. London. Now we are going to talk about the anatomy and physiology. This is mainly pertaining to the Kayakalpa, that is the pelvis. And here I am dividing into perineum, pelvic floor, perineal body and Mulabandha. These are all very much intricately connected to the Kayakalpa. In that, perineum or the pelvis or pelvic floor is the most important one. We are going to concentrate only on this pelvic floor, and this body structure which supports the pelvis is called the patient-shaped one. And here I have shown a vessel called Kunda in our Tamil Nadu, because it is Kundalini is a Tamil word. That's what I want to specifically tell. So Kundi, and Kundi supports all the intestines and internal sex organs. That is why it's called Kundalini Shakti. And this under surface of the Kundi only we are going to talk more today. And in this Kundi we are having that three openings. That is anus in the front, vagina in the middle, and urethra in the posterior aspect. So the floor, which contains multiple muscles, when we see from above, this is the picture, and when we see from below, this is the picture. And now let us see the perineum or the Kundi. It is not a simple area, it's a group of muscles. That our advantage is because it is supplied by only one nerve, that's called the pudendal nerve. That pudendal nerve gives us the advantage in the Kayakalpa. That let me explain later. So this anal region can be divided into the back portion as the anal region and the front portion as the urogenital region, because usually we don't give much attention to this area, this Kundi area, but now from now onwards we have to give lot of consideration to give this area, because all this Kayakalpa technique operates in this area. Let me explain. And genetic center, one of the center in full discussion. So it is perineal body or the genetic center. Perineal body is the anatomical term, and in our spiritual term it is the genetic center, where the front urogenital group and the back anal groups are meeting at a central point with a fibrous nodule. So that fibrous nodule is a small muscular nodule. Usually we say it is between the eruvai and karuvai. That is the one, that is 1.5 inches in front of the anus and 2 inches inside the body. And we were talking whether really there is a body is there or not. Yes, a fibrous tissue anatomically represents this area. It is present. So in the male, the genetic center is the perineal area, and in the female it is around the cervix. This distinction we have to remember in our mind. And this area, this perineal body, this genetic center is very important, because all the muscles in this area converge towards this point. And spiritually also they are telling all the 72,000 nadis are getting originated from this center. So I can say this fibrous nodule is the nodule which could be a degenerated endocrine gland which was responsible for the Muladhara chakra, but instead of this, for the Muladhara chakra we are using the adrenal gland as the gland, and this is the key point for all human spiritual functions. So let us see, in this Kundi we are having 3 openings: the urethral opening, the vaginal opening and the anal opening. Here there are 3 Yogic practices are there, that is Vajroli Mudra, and in the middle where the vaginal opening is there, that is connected with the genetic center that corresponds to the prostate in the male and the cervix in the female, and here this corresponds to Mulabandha. Aswini Mudra is connected with the anal region. All these three are different and all these three can be operated separately, but this can be brought into practice only by regular practice. So, this Mulabandha is the main element which is responsible for the neuroendocrine pathway, which I am going to describe in the forthcoming slides. So, here again I am showing you this, that Vajroli Mudra is in the front urethral opening, Mulabandha is in the middle, corresponds to the cervix, and Aswini Mudra in the anal region. So same thing. No, I am going in the reverse. So here is this Vajroli. So the Vajroli Mudra, and when it is used in male it is called Vajroli Mudra, when it is mentioned in female it is Savajoli Mudra, and in the Mulabandha, next I finished Vajroli Mudra, then comes the Mulabandha. This in Sanskrit they call root lock. From this lock only we release all the energies throughout the body. Kayakalpa also uses the same Mulabandha to raise the energy to the skull, and from there the energy is released to the all over the body. So in this contraction of the perineum that involves the anus and the perineal body, and without contracting the anal sphincter, that should be noted. So this is the Mulabandha, where Mulabandha specifically stimulates the genetic center. So genetic center corresponds to Mulabandha. This distinction we have to keep in mind. So Aswini Mudra is separate from Mulabandha and it involves only the anus muscle. This we all know, that's why moving forward. So let us go on for that neuroendocrine pathway. This only going to establishes the fact that Kayakalpa is not a myth. It is scientifically accepted and proved one. So from this day onwards, we have to say that Kayakalpa is scientifically scientifically accepted one. Let us see that neuroendocrine pathway. So here Mulabandha plays the main role in the integration of the neurological and endocrinological function. That is Mulabandha, we know how it operates, and here what I want to specifically say is, in the perineum, that is in the Kundi area, though we daily urinate and ejaculation is there, defecation is there, all are happening on their own. When the urge is coming, we pause it. But we are not having the conscious control of the perineum. We never give any importance to the perineal area at all. That is why the perineum is not properly represented in the brain. Usually, all our parts of the body are represented in the brain, but this perineal area is not properly represented in the brain. So, all our activities are belonging to subconscious and unconscious activity. This lack of conscious nerve control makes it difficult for us to urinate and defecate at the same time. They come separately. So, what Mulabandha helps here is, by regular practice of Mulabandha, the areas in the brain associated with the perineum will develop. So, we are recreating the perineal area in the brain, so that one may gain complete control over the urination, defecation and the sexual intercourse. So here how this Mulabandha connects through the neuroendocrine pathway, let us see. Here the nervous system is coordinated with the endocrine system by way of central midbrain structure, that is the limbic system, and Mulabandha primarily stimulates the pudendal nerve of the central nervous system. So let us see. We know about the central nervous system divided like central nervous system and peripheral nervous system, that is autonomic nervous system and somatic nervous system. The somatic nervous system is sympathetic and parasympathetic. Here we are more concerned about the parasympathetic system. So that parasympathetic system usually not our conscious control. Usually Parivu Mandalam, autonomic mandalam is not under our control, but through biofeedback and through Mulabandha, by stimulating the pudendal nerve, we can activate the parasympathetic system. That is the main point I want to stress here, that we are able to stimulate the parasympathetic system through Mulabandha, through pudendal nerve. That is the starting point of the neuroendocrine pathway. So now let us see. The performance of bandhas has been experimentally shown to enforce all parasympathetic activities in the body, which decreases the heart rate, respiration and blood pressure. But this is in a normal person with a general sense of rest and relaxation. So sympathetic nervous system acts only at a subdued level. So we are talking more about the parasympathetic system. In the body there are two nerves concerned with the parasympathetic system, that is vagus nerve and the pudendal nerve. Vagus is just below the cortical brain and pudendal nerve is the brain. The pudendal nerve is more connected with our Kayakalpa. So now I am going to concentrate more on the pudendal nerve. So pudendal nerve contains motor, sensory, parasympathetic fibers and does carry a few sympathetic fibers also. And see this picture. Though I said the pelvic muscles are plenty, but the only one nerve which supplies the whole pelvic area, including the genital organs. So this is the pudendal nerve, how it is presented actually in the body. It contains all the fibers, it supplies the pelvic area, and pudendal nerve, it connects with the brain through the spinal body. I am not going to do the specific names, just with a bird's eye view I am telling the picture. So how it is getting integrated? Here only the poem comes. Without this poem we cannot proceed in the Kayakalpa. மூலாதாரத்தில் இருக்கின்ற மிகச்சிறந்த வித்து சக்தியை கருத்தினால் தலைக்கு உச்சிக்கு ஏற்றி முடிந்தால் வயது முதிர்ந்தவரும் இளமையோடு இருப்பார், உடலும் சிவந்திடும் என்பது பாடலின் பொருள். இந்த சக்தியை when we can raise it to the brain, that is what pudendal nerve is doing when we are doing Mulabandha, and it raises the nerve impulses to the brain. At the same time, we should know pudendal nerve stimulates the internal sex organs of the male and female. As our Swamiji says, all the sexual vital fluid, it may be fluid, but it is an energy that is also concentrated only in the internal sex organs of the pelvis, where the Mulabandha stimulates the pelvis, pudendal nerve. So this energy along with the pudendal nerve is getting transmitted to the cortex. So in this, the limbic cortex plays the main role, that is connected with the endocrine and autonomic nervous system. The limbic cortex contains so many areas in that though the limbic axis connects both hypothalamus and the cortex, in that the limbic cortex contains many areas, specifically hippocampus. By our stimulation through the pudendal nerve, through the nerve control, we regulate the motivation, emotion, learning and memory. At the same time, through amygdala, we are controlling the feelings like pressure, fear, anxiety and anger. So, the thalamus is the intermediary one which connects the upper part of the brain to the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is the main one which is responsible for the endocrine pathway, though it has got the nervous pathway which controls the heart rate, blood pressure and body temperature. At the same time, through the endocrine function, it controls the sleep, mood, muscles and bone growth and sexual drive. So, hypothalamus, through the pituitary gland, it secretes so many hormones, and through these axes, it controls the gonads, it controls the adrenal cortex, it controls the thyroid. In the way, the whole neuroendocrine pathway gets completed, and in this way, the stimulation of the pudendal operates in the body. So here, I am trying to integrate a bit of our Thomas epigenetics, because without touching the epigenetics, if I conclude, it may not be good. So here, what I said was the muscles of the perineum not under our conscious control. So, through how to bring the conscious control in the brain. For that, I tried epigenetics gives an answer, that is epigenetics and neuroplasticity. Here, epigenicity, the epigenome changes are all taking place due to all these surrounding impulses, but these things are not helping me, but this picture helped me. This contains all the things which is involved in epigenetics. First is the more of a genetic conditions, the second is neo-Darwinism, mainly Mendelian inheritation, and Darwinism, survival of the fittest, and the last one, different theories are there, evo therapy, plastic accommodation and epigenetic inheritance. Like that, so many theories are there. I was fascinated more with the plasticity and accommodation, that is neuroplasticity. In the neuroplasticity, when a nerve is constantly stimulated, that produces memories in the brain. Then when it is still pursued, it produces structural changes in the brain, and functionally that results in a functional area of that brain. So, how the memory is created is when we stimulate the pudendal nerve, these are all the limbic system connected with the memory. When the stimulation is going on, neuromodulators boost synaptic plasticity. That's what Thomas was telling through neuromodulators and the synaptic plasticity. And through this, neuronal connections are turned to improve cognition skills in the brain. So, in that way, we produce a new neural pathway in the cortical brain. Here I have shown an example. 4 nerves are there, nerve cells are there. First 2 is normal, second pair, the first one is damaged. So, when it is damaged, the corresponding cell becomes inactive, but the other cell forms a new neuronal path and helps to activate the other cell. So, in that way, neuroplasticity helps to form new neuronal pathways. So, by perineal contraction, which is unique technique comprising Bajoli Mudra, Aswini Mudra and Mulabandha, by constant practice and commitment towards it, we can produce neuroplastic changes in the biological system and produce a permanent conscious changes in the brain. With that, we can have that full control of the perineum. Thank you very much.